All right, guys, welcome to Rideshare with Jonathan. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering something I find very irritating as a rideshare driver. Yeah, it's not being able to get Quest, and we're talking about Uber and Lyft here. And I have a theory that I'm trying to prove, and I've proved about half of it. So if you're having a problem by not receiving Quest for Uber and Lyft, make sure to stick around and watch this video. But before I get started, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below if you like watching content revolving around rideshare, specifically Uber and Lyft. I'm going to be trying to put out at least 3 videos a week. So let's go ahead and start off with the most obvious, which is what Uber and Lyft tells you about receiving these Quest, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly. There's been no real defined definition of what these are. And what I'm referring to is something as simple as Lyft or Uber saying, hey, if you give 30 rides, we'll give you a $150 bonus this week, or 60 rides in a month and we'll guarantee you $2,000, or whatever it may be, right? There's so many variations of this. And of course, if you go on their websites that say that nothing is guaranteed, it's all varied by market. It varies by your driving experience. So if people comment on the way you drive, I mean, there's so many variations that can dictate what your quests are. But here's the thing. I have 5 stars on Uber and Lyft. I have a perfect driving record, and I didn't receive any Lyft Quest or Uber Quest when I started back. And I know they're called something else on Lyft than Quest. I think Uber's the one that calls them that. But either way, here's the deal. When I restarted Uber and Lyft, because it's been around 2.5 years since I did it, I started off as what they call blue members. I think both of them are blue. We'll go over the rewards here in a minute, but it's the very bottom. It's like when you restart, essentially. But the first thing I noticed is I didn't get a Quest on either one of them. Is it odd? Most people will say probably not, because you did it. You went away for a long time, so why would they offer you this? Well, for a very long time after I stopped driving Uber and Lyft, they were offering Quest month after month. I mean, I was constantly getting them even though I wasn't driving. And then one day it just stopped, but it stopped because I deleted apps, right? So that was my assumption. Well, when I got back on here, now all of a sudden I have no Quest on any of them. So what I honestly thought what it came down to was, does it have to do with the rewards program? And I put that theory to a test on the Lyft side, and I'm putting that to the test on the Uber side this week. Now, let me go over the rewards real quick just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you bring up Lyft's rewards program, here's what I'm talking about, guys. You start off as a silver, then when you do so many rides that equal so much money, right, it moves you up to a gold member, then a platinum member, then elite. And what I'm talking about is when you start off as a silver member, right? And my theory is you don't get any Quest unless you go up to at least a gold, if not a platinum and elite member. And I feel like each Quest would be different depending where you fall at on this Lyft rewards timeline, because what we're looking at here is Lyft. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, that's wrong, well, whatever. I'm telling you right now, I entered the gold part of the Lyft program 2 weeks ago. The very next day, I got a Quest. I don't know if that's a coincidence or what, but I do know the moment I hit gold, 2 hours later, it turned to midnight or 12:01 a.m. and I did get a Quest request saying, here's your options for the Quest. At that moment, I'm really believing that the rewards program has something to do with it, at least on the Lyft side. So, and I'm about to try this on the Uber side, but talking about Uber, let's bring up their rewards program. So Uber right now, I'm just over halfway on the blue. You need 200 points to go into the gold. I think I'm at 111 as far as so I'm still in the blue when it comes to this stuff. But either way, as you can see on here, it says nothing about Quest, receiving Quest, the types of Quest or anything. So I'm telling you, if I get into the gold or the platinum into Uber and I start receiving Quest, I'm 100% sold on they're not telling the full truth on these platforms, that you need to be at least at a certain membership before they'll give you a Quest. Now, why is that important? Because essentially what they're not telling you is that if you don't drive enough, you're just not going to get Quest, versus saying something as generalized as it may vary by market. It may vary by, you know what I mean, your star rating, which is what it all says if you go on their websites. And I understand that. But the frank point of it is I received another Lyft Quest request today. So I'm getting them weekly now for Lyft. The moment I entered the gold status. When I was blue, nothing for those weeks. Now that I'm gold, all of a sudden I'm getting them. I'm trying to get done with Uber and getting the gold because now I can drive full time this week. I'm going to try to get into the gold status by the end of this week, if not sooner, and tell you guys, hey, I've received a Quest request or not. Because right now it's Sunday, and typically this is when you would receive your Quest request to choose from on Uber, and guess what? Still don't have one to choose from. But either way, I'm going to test this theory out in whenever I guess become a gold member on Uber, or maybe by the end of this week, I'll come back and make another video to update you guys on this. But please leave in the comments below on what you guys think about this. Is this dictated more than one way? Obviously, I believe it is. I do believe it is dictated by the market and stuff like that. But is it also through the Lyft and Uber programs, the rewards programs? Because it's not mentioned in those. So, and I feel like if it is dictated by those, that should definitely be included. But either way, I'm going to let you guys know by the end of the week. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe below. Other than that, I'll see you guys by the end of this week.